All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the world of digital detectives. You know, in an age where pretty much every single thing we do leaves some kind of digital footprint, there's this whole group of unseen investigators piecing together clues that, honestly, used to be completely invisible.
And just think about this for a second. Your phone, your laptop, even your car. They're basically silent witnesses to your entire life. They know where you go, they know who you talk to, and they know what you do. So you have to ask yourself, what story are they telling? That's really the big question at the heart of what we're talking about today.
And that brings us to our first stop, the digital crime scene. Because, let's be real, in this century, a crime scene isn't just some physical place anymore. It's this huge, interconnected web of data, and all the clues are just hiding there, in plain sight, if you know where to look.
So what is digital forensics exactly? Well, at its core, it's the science of uncovering and making sense of electronic data. It's all about taking that raw information, just bits and bytes on a drive, and turning it into real, solid evidence that can actually stand up in a court of law.
And what's really wild is where this evidence can come from. I mean, we're not just talking about a criminal's laptop anymore. We're talking smartphones, cloud drives, smartwatches, heck, even Internet of Things devices like your smart fridge or the city's traffic lights. Basically, any device that's connected is a potential source of truth. And because that evidence is literally everywhere, the impact here is massive. This isn't just for solving so-called cybercrimes. Digital forensics is now absolutely critical for investigating crimes in the physical world, too. You know, the location data from a phone can put a suspect right at the scene of a burglary, and the financial records on a computer can unravel a super complex embezzlement scheme. It's a game changer.
But how do investigators actually do this? It's definitely not magic. It's a super meticulous, highly structured process, and it has to be to make sure the evidence stays pristine. So let's break down what that process really looks like.
Okay, so it really comes down to 4 key stages. First up is collection. This is where investigators make a perfect bit-for-bit copy of a device's storage. The original evidence is never, ever touched. Then there's examination, where they start sifting through that copy to find anything relevant. Third is analysis. This is where they really connect the dots, figuring out who made a file, when it was changed, and how it all fits into the case. And finally, reporting. They have to present all their findings in a clear, simple report that anyone, a judge, a jury, a lawyer, can actually understand.
Okay, so we've got the process down. Now let's look at some of the really fascinating techniques in the digital detective's toolkit. Honestly, this is where things get super clever.
So take something called reverse steganography. A criminal might try to hide some incriminating text or even other files inside what looks like a totally innocent image file. To you and me, it's just a picture. But a forensic analyst can spot the tiny, almost invisible changes in the file's data to uncover that secret message hidden inside. It's kind of like finding a secret hidden compartment in a digital file cabinet.
Then you've got cross-drive analysis. See, an investigator doesn't just look at one device by itself. They connect the dots between a suspect's laptop, their phone, their cloud storage, their work computer, all of it. By finding patterns and weird anomalies across all these different sources, they can build a much more complete timeline of what a suspect was actually doing.
And this one is so crucial. A suspect might think they've covered their tracks just by hitting the delete key. But with deleted file recovery, or what's sometimes called data carving, experts can literally search a drive's empty space for the leftover fragments of those deleted files. So the big takeaway here is this. On a hard drive, deleted almost never means gone forever. Now, it's really important to get this. Digital forensics isn't just one single thing. It's more like a family of highly specialized fields all working toward the exact same goal: uncovering the digital truth. Each one of these branches tackles a different piece of the puzzle. For instance, you've got computer forensics, which is all about laptops and hard drives. Then there's mobile forensics, focusing on phones, tablets, that sort of thing. Network forensics is all about tracking data as it zips across the internet, which is vital for tracing hackers. And database forensics dives into huge databases to look for evidence of fraud or data tamper.
So far, we've mostly been talking about crime and law enforcement. But these exact same skills are absolutely essential on the front lines of corporate cybersecurity, where companies are fighting off cyber attacks every single day.
In that world, there are really 2 sides to the same coin. Digital forensics is usually reactive. It happens after a company gets breached to figure out what went wrong. Incident response, on the other hand, is proactive. Its main goal is to stop an attack while it's still happening.
So the modern cutting-edge approach is to just merge them. This is what we call DFIR, which stands for Digital Forensics and Incident Response. It basically combines the deep, methodical investigation of forensics with the speed and action of incident response.
And the benefits of doing this are huge. A DFIR team doesn't just sit around and wait for an alarm to go off. They're out there proactively hunting for threats. And when an attack does happen, all that forensic data allows them to respond way faster and more accurately. It creates this powerful, consistent process for defending a company's most valuable digital stuff.
Which brings us to a final, pretty big question to think about. I mean, the tools and techniques we've just talked about are incredibly powerful for catching criminals and stopping hackers, but they also reveal just how much of our lives is being recorded. So, in a world where every single device is a potential witness, what does true privacy even look like anymore? Definitely something to chew on.